Hot Toys collecting is a never-ending, unexpected journey. You don't just travel to Mount Doom, throw the ring in the fire, and head home. No, Hot Toys is a journey that requires you to consistently press on. This shouldn't be viewed as a daunting task, but an exciting one, because Hot Toys collecting is about the pursuit of the dream, not the achievement of the dream. And today, we're going to go over my journey thus far so you can recognize the growth in your own. But before we get started, make sure to like the video, click the subscribe button, and click that notification bell down below so you're notified when content goes live here. That said, let's discuss how you can embrace your Hot Toys collecting journey and improve the quality of your display. Thank you so much for joining me for another video today. I started collecting Hot Toys in 2017 to 2018, and since then my collection has improved tremendously. The very first time I felt confident enough to share my collection with the world was back on June 17th, 2019. I'm still proud of this collection actually. I had wooden display cases with glass doors that were actually from a closed down antique store. My dad found them and they were perfect for displaying Hot Toys, at least initially. I also had D-tops. D-tops were long considered the standard display case for Hot Toys and other collectible figures, so collectors far and wide were buying these $60 D-tops because they look quite good for the value, or they did. My point is that everyone has to start somewhere, so whether you have one figure, 5 figures, or 500 collectible figures, you should celebrate where you're at in the process. Hot Toys collecting is no different than yourself, a work in progress. Trying to compete with someone else and run their race is a losing mentality. What you really want to do is run your own race and be proud of the collection that you've built over time yourself. It's like when you find that special lady. You pursue, but you don't chase. And if you're wondering what my source is, trust me, bro. I purchased ModuSpace in 2022 and received them about a year later. I decided to invest in my forever display and I spent around $5,000 on my statue and figure cases collectively. This is the type of investment that I only recommend making when you're really serious about your Hot Toys collecting hobby. This is a lot of money and requires a lot of space, so I'd recommend starting small, and then when you accumulate enough figures, you build out a display that you feel will be semi-permanent, the type of display that you plan to use for years to come. I think it's really interesting looking back at how I originally posed figures and how I pose them now. There's not that much difference. I try to go for more stoic poses because I'm not always a huge fan of, active displays. I'll use a dynamic pose every now and then, but I like my character standing there looking cool in ways that look museum-like. That's why they call them museum poses, right? My point for this section being posing matters. You might think my posing sucks ass because posing is truly a subjective art form. You might think they're boring or lack dynamism, but I really like them. But I've truly seen some poses that, as the kids say, are buns, and they really do reduce the quality of the overall figure and the display itself. Another thing that I've noticed here between my original collection and my new collection is that spacing is relatively consistent. Spacing can be a huge issue for me because when you accumulate too many figures, your collection can look cluttered because your space is small, but your figure collection is large. I'd rather have more space and not completely fill it than to have more figures than my space can handle. I'm actually hoping to set up some additional ModuSpace display cases that I purchased recently so I can add more figures and space them out a little bit more evenly, but more on that in a future video. Now, I have a whole video linked in the description that discusses the best Hot Toys display case options for your review after you've watched this video. But you may be asking yourself, Will, why did you choose ModuSpace display options? And that's a good question. I chose ModuSpace because I feel their display cases look amazing and they offer the most bang for your buck. The ability to customize your display and build something that suits your space and goals is really cool, and they look sick AF. In my original wooden displays, I ran string LED lights throughout the entire case. It was a bitch, but it worked pretty well in lighting the figures. The ModuSpace display lights simply stick to the top of the case, and the quality of the light is superior to any other brand of display in my personal experience. So I try to stick them closer to the front of the case so the figure isn't too close to the light and gets washed out. And I love how my display looks now. Your display cases are very likely to be the primary draw of your collection space. They are bright, large, and full of amazing hyper-realistic collectible figures. That said, your collection space probably needs accessory items though. If you look at my original collection room, I had a bunch of accessory items placed everywhere without much thought into where I placed them. But now I have art prints and life-size props that are organized and placed in areas where they make sense. I love how my collection room looks currently, and one of the rules that I follow that helped me make it into what it is today is that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Sometimes you have this empty space on your floor or on your wall in your collection room, and you have this gut instinct that you want to follow to fill that space. but it isn't always the right decision. I've fallen into the trap of just putting things anywhere, but sometimes I think an empty space is preferable. Conversely, filling a space with an item that you didn't really need will just cause you more work in the long run when you inevitably need to move on from it. Creating this video has been a very enlightening experience for me because it's been a very interesting exercise to go back and look at my very first collection tour and see how my collection space has evolved over the years as my goals, interests, and expectations for my collection change. And I don't have any expectations of this being a humble brag video or that being interpreted that way in the community. I'm just hoping that my expectations and goals and experiences with my personal collection are going to influence other collectors in the development of their personal collections, which I hope is helpful. I'm very excited with the direction my collection is headed, and I'm excited to see which direction it goes moving forward. And I hope you feel the same about yours. Your collection will change as you change, and the sooner you embrace that process, the better your collection will be. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this video. I hope it was helpful in some way, shape, or form. If you did enjoy the content, make sure to click the like button down below, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you're notified when content goes live here. And of course, drop your comments in the comment section below. Let me know where your collection is headed, where it's been over all these years, and how you're feeling about the process right now. Hopefully it's not too daunting. Hopefully you're taking it in stride. It's like any task in life. Nothing is surmountable if you put your mind to it and really work hard at what you want to do. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate you and love you guys for offering me so much support. Remember, there is a giveaway going on right now. This Friday, we're actually going to do a giveaway for classic suits. Spider-Man from Hot Toys, John Wick at 14K, and Joker at 15K. The link to that video and how to enter is linked in the description below. So make sure you enter and make sure, please, that you follow all the rules so your entry is valid when we go to give away these figures on a Lights Camera Collect live stream every Friday at 5:15 p.m. Eastern. Guys, thank you so much for joining. I love you as always, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out. See you later. Bye.